Hello, friend. So this is video number 5 in my mini series on detoxification and the body. And I would like to talk about now body products and what we put onto our body, what we rub on our face in the morning and at night, those heavy, nourishing creams, hopefully, and what we use maybe for sun protection or as a scrub, an exfoliant, or maybe just for clearing the lines and getting us a little more youthful with whatever serums it is that we are using. Every ingredient matters, especially when our skin is consuming it. Our skin consumes, just like the food that we put into our mouth. It's a very similar action that's happening when we put that body butter, that lotion, that sunscreen, that serum onto our skin. Our skin is dissolving whatever is in that substance. And I don't know about you, but I really care about what I consume these days. And I want it to be nourishing. I want it to be fortifying. I want it to be generative and regenerative. And that the millions of cells that I've broken down in my body with whatever it is, my prior consumption, or if it's a cheat day and I did have a donut or some ice cream, coconut ice cream is the best, but still high in sugar. So all of these things that we consume, they're going somewhere. Our body is taking it in and it's needing to break it down in order to release it. And our sewer system, whether it's going out through our kidneys and we're flushing out through our urine, or if it's going out the other side, or if it's coming out of our skin. If you've watched the prior videos, you know that I've struggled as a child and in adulthood with acne at different times in my life. Still, hormonal tendencies will induce acne, little spots, and what I eat. Primarily sugar and starches are pretty tough on my body. That just doesn't digest them the same. And so I started really looking at the body products that I had on hand. And when I started the detoxification last year, I had also started making my own skin lotion for my face, because what I had read is a lot of the things were stripping skin. That is, the things that are created for aging skin really are stripping our skin. And while it may diminish my fine lines and give me a more youthful appearance today, those chemicals are going way deeper than what you're seeing. They're going into your body, they're going into your bloodstream, and they're slowing down whatever other processes that your body may be faced with. If you do have a spot that's precancerous, if your body is needing to pivot over here and break down the chemicals that you're putting on to reduce that fine line, then it's likely the acids in your body are going to really start hitting that sensitive skin area that may not have been cancerous yet, but it's weak. And the cells in that area of that tiny little spot, which is where this story started. Why do we have to get so worried about one little spot? It's just a spot. Well, if we look at the bigger picture and how we're living our lives and what we're taking in, what we're consuming, what we're putting onto our bodies, that's why the tiny spots matter. They're weak points. And so when we're bringing in the skin chemicals, it's only causing greater distress on our machine. We are machines. This body, we're spiritual beings in this human body. And so this body has a lot of wear and tear in our lifetime, whatever it is that we may do, how you live your life. I choose to live my life with adventure. And I'm a physical person. I'm very embodied. I do a lot of things with my body. And I wish to do these things long into my life. This is why I'm doing all this today, is I want to continue doing the things I love into my 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yes. How awesome would that be? Oh, 80 on a trapeze. Yeah, you betcha. Well, at least 80 on the hiking trail. So yes, this is why this is so important to me. And someone who has struggled with skin issues in my past and tried all of the things. I mean, I think a lot of probably what I'm working on is also I can't even think of the creams right now. I had it, the Clearasil or oh man, in high school, there were so many different creams that I tried. And you look at the ingredients on those boxes and I'm sorry, I think that they're death traps. It's not good for us. If you want to choose a path of preventative healthcare and that you are preventing things in your life from happening, then this is so important of a path to start to step into, to start to pivot some of the choices that you're making with your body products. Because eventually those toxins, if your body isn't flushing them out, they're going somewhere. They're being built up, they're being stored in your skin, in our muscles, in the fat tissues. Fat tissues are huge suckers. They're like sponges for toxins. So if you have cellulite, if you struggle with weight in different areas of your body, it's truly trapping the toxins there. And so I may be a small person, but I have my own places that my body holds and stores fats. And it's been amazing to watch in this process of detoxification and how I've chosen to live my life this year as an experiment to play around with what would happen if I ate this. So I stopped my detox last September. I detoxed June, July, August, and September. I got down to 109 pounds. I was almost 20 pounds lighter than I am today. I know it's scary. It did scare me, was why I wish I'd have kept going. I wish I'd gone through the end of the year, maybe got down to 100 pounds even, just because I realized now what was happening and that I was starting to get to the deeper layers. Yes, I was losing more weight. However, what was being lost was also shedding a lot of toxins. And you have to get to the deeper levels in order to get there. We start just melting off the fat. So yeah, you get down to awesome, 20% fat, 15% fat. You really want to be within 17% fat in your body. When you're detoxifying, it will go down. However, the fat stores the toxins. I'm going to keep saying that because it's true. Where I was at in my body before I dedicated those 4 months, it's a long time to go without a lot of the things that we have many days of our lives. And you can watch other videos and hear how I did that, or feel free to drop me a message if you're interested, because I did have a solid meal most of the days. I was only completely fruits for 2 weeks, and I did a 4-day grape flush, 21 pounds of grapes in 4 days. So there's a lot of different profiles within the overall profile of a detoxification phase. But what I've learned is it's fascinating. I still eat really well today, but my body and the fat pockets that it has on it, and please don't roll your eyes just because I'm a smaller person, but I'm someone who will, when I'm doing my daily activities regularly, I will have a toned stomach. That's just how my body is shaped. I have that gift from God, if you want to call it, and that I have a flat stomach, but I have larger thighs for my body and the proportions and where my body has muscle tone and where it has fat. For me, I can see, I can feel, and it goes throughout my entire leg. My ankles will swell around my knees, literally my knees get little puckered area that's cellulite and toxic buildup. And I did that 4-month detox. I had none of that. And I definitely didn't expect it to come back when I just eat, I barely eat any cookies anymore. I have a donut now and again, which is a treat that I didn't crave before the detox. It's kind of weird, but my sister loves donuts. She lives in Italy and doesn't get them like we have them here. And I don't know if there was something in there that came up of her last trip back. We really enjoyed Krispy Kreme together. And anyhow, it's become a little treat that I go to. And, I do have my organic coconut bliss ice cream. I say organic specifically because Coconut Bliss took on natural flavors in most of their ice creams. And if you've been listening to anything that I've said, I really have a thing with natural flavors. I don't trust them. You can't tell me that you're putting an ingredient in there called natural flavor and not tell me what it is. I've been writing to companies about this and asking them why they switched to natural flavors when they didn't have natural flavor, primarily bar companies. If you eat any sort of bars, RX bars didn't used to have natural flavors in them. Well, they start adding the natural flavors because they've scaled their product. That means that they are trying to make more money off of you by substituting something cheaper in their product in order to yield more revenue, in order to get more of it out there in the world. And so I'm going to come back to body products because that's what this video is about, but it's the same with body products. What I've just created in the month of July in honor of being plastic free and taking care and nurturing and nourishing our bodies is my Jade Living Pretty Botanical Skincare. I'm not saying this to do a plug and ask you to please go buy my skincare because quite honestly, I'm just making it as cottage and it was intended for my private clients initially. And now I'm just doing it in a small batch monthly. When it's out, it's out. It's not my primary thing that I do, but it's a vehicle for me to have this conversation to help educate people on how we can start to look around and not only be plastic free with our body products, but be nurturing with our body products. And so just like foods, it means using less in order to use a higher quality in order to save your wallet. If you're thinking right now, oh, that's expensive. Yeah, I never have spent $40 on body butter, especially not 4 ounces. But I also used to take a handful of lotion. Remember, pump, 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 pump all over the body. You need a lot more of it. You use a lot more of it because you need it because it's diluted. It's not rich. And one of my friends called me the other day that I sent as a trial package of my pretty products. I sent the entire assortment of all 7 products. And she raved about the body butter and how rich it was and how nourishing it was. And she has very dry skin and uses the really heavy creams that are on the shelves that unfortunately do have a lot of chemicals in them. And so these chemicals are residual in our bodies. And just like the toxins, when I talk about toxins building up, these chemicals, we just don't know today what they're really doing on a deeper level. But what we do know today is that Alzheimer's, dementia, a lot of the dis-ease that has come about and rapidly grown over the last 20 years is coming from somewhere. And when I look at what's happened in the last 20 years in the skincare industry and the trends of skincare and how labeling and just what happened with food. People could slap the word organic on it and none of us looked at the labels anymore. Am I right? Are you with me? If it said organic, you just choose that one. Not anymore. I read the label on everything. And with body products, please know that your body is consuming every ingredient in that product. And it might be tired. If you're struggling with weight gain, if you're struggling with brain fog, if you're struggling with depression and anxiety, let it be one more tool that you look at, that you consider. And I'm calling body products a tool. Yeah, because they can allow your body to take a break from processing all the chemicals. They can allow your body to pivot to work on that little spot that may have been precancerous. Give your body a break. Choose clean. Choose wisely. Don't go for the cheapest and the most available for your body if you want to live a longer, happier, and healthier life, because it's waiting for you. Our bodies are machines, and they know how to take care of themselves, how to regenerate. But from the generations before us and everything that we've introduced in our lifetimes, in the last 20, 30, 40 years that I've been living, it's a very different world than what our parents and grandparents grew up with. I wish that I had continued making the body products that I started to in college. I played around with a homemade shampoo and a skin cream, but I never took it any further, and it just wasn't where my head was. But I wish I would have stayed with the thought of understanding why it was in the books that I was reading. But we didn't know where this was going 20 years ago. We didn't have the levels of dis-ease that we have today. That's why it is so important that we read labels and that we do consider what we're putting onto our body. You can check out my website at josieadele.design. Under shop are my pretty products. Read the ingredients. Please find products like these if I don't have any available and you're interested. There are many small batch cottage industry creators out there today that you can support their small business and what they're doing and the good that they're doing in the world by providing these products. And try and go for plastic free. For me, that lid being plastic even anymore matters. It just does. We don't need to consume plastic in products that we use only once. There are other options. If you live in a metropolitan area, often there are co-ops even that have bulk products where you can take your old jars. I find many different jars from things that we use. Salsa jars are great to reuse a salsa jar and go and fill that up with lotion at your local co-op that they have a clean product available. There are ways to do this. We just have to get creative, and with all the information that's going around out there, share when you find something that seems like a path for the better. Because this is what it's about. It may not be perfect, may not be great, may not be the best. Maybe we can't afford the best solution, but we can afford a better solution in order to afford better lives, healthier lives. And when we're happier, I promise you, we're healthier. Take care, my friends. Take care.